In a world that's moving fast and it's always changing,
Mm.
are you embracing it or are you running away from it?
And it could be, is your change really growth or is it a new disguise that you put on?
Okay. Sweet. What's good, peoples? Welcome
Welcome
to
to
the
the Hun
Hun
Life
Life Podcast,
Podcast.
where we have real, raw, authentic conversation as a millennial couple.
Raising family, building legacy, and breaking the cycle.
It's time to heal our generation,
One conversation at a
at a time.
time.
What's good, peoples? Welcome to the Hun Life Podcast. Hunt here,
Hey y'all, I'm Kiki.
and this is episode 53.
Mm-hmm.
Daryl Dawkins,
Oh.
NBA basketball legend. He was breaking backboards before Shaq. They called him Chocolate Thunder.
Did they really?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
He played for the 76ers. Like, I think back like in the the early 80s, late 80s, but he was in the 80s.
That's funny. Interesting. Learned a fun fact today. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Try to.
That was a good one. I like that one.
Mm-hmm. So, in a world that's moving fast and it's always changing, are you embracing it or are you running away from it?
That's a good question. And it could be also, is your change really growth or is it a new disguise that you put on?
Okay.
Like, because change is just an iffy thing. It's not always easy to like.
It's not as easy as everybody say.
Yeah, that's the part. That part. It's not as easy as everybody put out there.
But before we get into the topic, how was your week? How was your week? You was on a podcast last week.
Oh.
How was that?
I hate when you do that. Oh, because I really don't, my mind don't be there. This week just was a lot, right? Like, I just feel like I always got a lot going on. But I'm super excited about the podcast that I was on. If y'all have not, I put it in the community. I was a guest
speaker.
I was a guest on Allow Grace podcast. And it was like a dope conversation. And she's doing a series called Winning Wives. So we talked about all things marriage, motherhood, business, like my realm. And it was just a really cool conversation. And a really healthy conversation to have. It was just really dope. And I'm learning, like I said, to live in the moment and try to process more things when it's happening to me. So I'm proud that I did not let even though a lot was happening that day that it dropped, because it dropped last Wednesday, but it was a lot going on, but I still sat down to make sure I processed that moment. Yeah. And so I'm proud of myself just for that alone. Because
you watched it that day and everything.
Yeah. So I'm being intentional. I'm really trying to like be intentional about celebrating my moments when I'm having them in that moment.
So that's a change.
Yeah. I'm really, because it's a change that needs to happen.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep delaying, like denying myself gratification for things that I'm actually accomplishing while I'm on my journey of
changing,
getting where I want to be in life. Just like my journey of life. Like, so that is a big accomplishment to go on somebody else's platform and be able to speak about the things that I'm already advocating for. So it was an honor. I'm blessed to have had the opportunity. And it was really exciting just connecting with people who have the same mentality as you. It's always dope. So.
That's what's up.
How was your week?
Busy?
It was busy. Yeah. It's been a busy week. Busy good.
Yeah. And it's still raining, but.
Yeah. But the Lord will provide. Okay. Make a way.
That's the crazy part, because it's been a rainy summer.
It has been a rainy summer, but
still
this week has
booked.
been very, so that's a blessing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but besides that, I mean, everything else is fine. It kind of sort of, the reason I think that we're going into this episode about change is because the conversation we had last night, and it had me thinking like, well,
No, they
yeah,
just got my attention. I was like,
nah, yeah, it had me
what? Because
thinking
I know
like
I'll never remember what I say.
because like, all right, peep game. So we both went to public school.
Mm-hmm.
We both also don't like the way that the public school system is going at the rate that it is.
Yeah.
And then we also didn't like the way that our upbringing was. So we're trying to change it by homeschooling our kids and being there for our kids in the way that we wanted our parents to be there for us.
Yeah.
But it looks like at this moment they're taking advantage of it. Like I honestly feel like they're taking advantage of it.
I don't think they're taking advantage
Because
of it because they don't. To take advantage, you have to know that something could be different. I don't think they grasp like. Okay, I saw this other couple. They was talking about it on TikTok. It was like a clip, and they were talking about like the kids today, and she was like, they have normalized taking trips, getting flown out, like having all. This is their normal.
yeah.
So we've adjusted them to a normal, and we're like, dang, y'all don't even know what we had to, but they don't, right?
Yeah, because
And
when
you
you
know what
think
I'm saying.
about
And
it,
when they said it like that, I was like, that's true.
mm-hmm.
Like we are setting a new standard, especially if you're one of the parents who have been intentional about parenthood. So you knew you didn't want them to go through all the struggles and like the ups and downs and like just the random stuff we had to go through.
Yeah.
So they only know a specific type of life. Like Santana only really knows a specific type of life. Like homeboy don't know a struggle if it he was in one. Like I think Santana really think we rich. I keep telling him, I'm just aspiring to have the money you think I got. Like at this point, that's what I'm trying to do with my life.
And but then it humbles me because it always brings it back to the whole conversation about that your kids will understand more about what you did once they're older and they have kids. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I mean, I feel like the change that we're making and we have made is like for the betterment of our future generation. Because we're giving them something that no one before us really had. Mm-hmm. None of our parents own businesses. Yeah. None of our parents homeschooled. Mm-hmm. None of our parents really attended to like our like needs. They just more so did the basic needs that we needed, whether that was because they was in that position or because they chose to. We don't know why. Yeah. But everybody did the best that they could. Yeah. In the situation that the cards that they was dealt with. Yeah. So we decided to say we want to change that, and in the process of changing it, we kind of sort of put our kids in a position to where they don't really have a fight or flight mode. Yeah. But also it's not even just our kids, it's that entire generation. But not the entire generation. It's like a good portion of that generation that it doesn't really have a fight or flight mode. Because if you really sit back and look at it, a good portion of kids that's in their generation get every single thing that they want instead of every single thing that they need. They all get the stuff that they want, and their parents also give them the stuff that they wanted as a child. Yeah. So it's a bunch of kids that's 3 years old, 4 years old and up, and the only thing that they know is electronics in their hands. Mm-hmm. These are kids that, unlike us, we had to wait until we was teenagers in order to get cell phones and start like doing the internet and stuff. Yeah, but for them, that's something that they was born into. Yeah. So it's like, how do you embrace that tech generation that they just was born into it? And it's like, yeah, you got to monitor it and you got to put limitations up on it, but it's also trying to do it to where we're not crippling them, because we was brought up to where technology wasn't that much of a thing. Mm-hmm. And we had to teach our parents about technology. Mm-hmm. Well, they don't have to teach us about technology because we was at the birth of technology. we understand technology and we understand where it's going because we didn't seen the changes of technology.
Mm-hmm.
And we see that a bunch of people around our age, they can't really handle technology the way that they're supposed to. Hell, they can't even use technology the proper way. A lot of people don't even understand that the internet has been shrunk into a small section of it. It's called the World Wide Web, but people are only stuck on 4 to 5 platforms, and that's social media and Google. And then you got your other little apps on the outside. But as in when we was growing up, nigga, you can get on Nice Kicks. You can go to gaming websites. It's different websites that we can go to, but it changed.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody knows how to embrace the change when it comes to the website because everybody think that this is the way it's supposed to be, but it's like it's not. It's just y'all choosing it to be this way.
I think, well, on that part, I think technology is something that we are becoming the older generation to a certain extent because a lot of us don't understand it in the direction you know of it. But I think what people don't understand is you can know of something but not understand it fully. Like you
Yeah,
can know that the internet is changing, you can know about AI, you can know about all the new little apps and like the things that they're doing, but that doesn't mean you understand how it works and how it's going to eventually affect you and affect your kids. Um, and I think in a world where everybody are is consumer based, I think it's just teaching kids to balance and not be consumers, but also like I try to teach them to be um, producers as well as consumers. You don't want to just sit on here and consume things that you could actually be producing as well.
yeah,
So I try to have that balance, but I also understand that our kids, it's certain parts of our childhood and certain parts of our upbringing and just for our generation in general that I think the new generation, when I say new, I'm talking about like Gen Alpha because those are technically our kids. Because Gen Z been out the way for a while. Um, Gen Alpha is who we'll start hearing more and more about because they're starting to be the teenagers now. Like
mm-hmm.
Santana is 11, he'll be 12 this year. So they're getting into teenage realm because Santana, he was at the beginning of Alpha. So we're going to start to hear about Alpha a lot more because now they're the teenagers and then they're going to be the people who are coming out into the work field and like how we heard have been hearing about Gen Z for the past 10, 15 years. We're going to start hearing about Alpha more and more. So I think that we have to understand the way that we bred them to some of this stuff is normal. Some of these kids don't have a fight or flight because they've never had to really fight. Everything's been handed to them because we know what struggle feels like. So we, of course, don't want to give that to our kids. But our kids don't understand that we had to change to be able to give them these things. Like,
Yeah,
again, certain upbringings like mine, it's easier for me to revert to whooping is my first line of defense when I'm about to talk to you. Like, I ain't finna say nothing to you. I'm just gonna whoop you. Especially having the families that we have who solely still believe in whoopings, right? Like,
mm-hmm.
it's easy to do that, but understanding that that's not always that's not the healthiest way. I'm not saying like you shouldn't whoop your kids. Some kids just need whoopings, but I think it takes way more to be able to find other ways mentally to discipline your kids because the world don't have to put its hands on you for you to learn your lesson.
Yeah,
The world does it in a different way. So if all they respond to is some form of abuse physically, then they're gonna go out into the world and expect that. And then when they don't get it back and it's more mental, they can't handle it. So I think it's teaching them how to balance it, but also because the internet is so wide, it's easy for them to take on other personas that's not necessarily theirs. And you have to teach them how to disconnect not only from the internet, but like for kids who go to school to disconnect from the kids at the school. Like, is this your kid? If you know you've had a kid who's had a specific type of personality, not saying that they can't grow out of that, but certain personalities we have, we're just born with it. It kind of is just who you are,
Yeah.
right? And you, as a parent and moms, for sure, you know what I mean. Like, it's certain things you can see in your kids at a very young age, and you're like, this is you. You're always gonna tick like this, like, and when you start to see that your kid isn't moving in that direction, or you start to see that they've done a 360, I think instead of us saying that, well, they've matured or they've grown or they like grew out of it, before you just write it off as that, make sure they're not getting an influence from somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times it's influence from somebody else, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's an influence from a friend, because they could have been influenced by the cool kid at school. Because regardless of the fact, we all know, we went to school, we all know what it feels like to want to be a part of the cool kid crowd. Like, we all struggle with that
Or
at
the
some
cool
point.
kid on YouTube that they're watching.
Yeah. But, and so they think that's the way to go. And so it's making sure, especially like now for these kids, like the alpha kids, because it's so easy to get caught up in everybody else's persona, and then on top of what you think what they're internalizing that their parents want from them.
Yeah.
So I think that on that way, it's finding a balance, and that's why I say you have to be careful as a parent giving your kids everything they want because you didn't have it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to find a balance in that.
Yeah.
Because that's you parenting your inner child.
But also a thing about that too is that I think that Generation X kind of dropped the ball with is they wasn't able to change with us as we grow. Part of being a parent is you have to be able to pivot. You got to be able to change. The stuff that you could have did with your kids and discipline them or talking to them or just getting to understand them when they was like 5 to 10 changes when they become teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, it even changes when they become preteens. So it's like you got to be able to change with the times with them because you don't want to get stuck to where we get it, that's your baby, but you don't want to get stuck to where they're in a baby stage in your mind the whole entire time. And they're 16 out here doing reckless stuff and you haven't changed your mindset about them to where like, oh no, my baby wouldn't do that. But it's like you never really understand or got to know the teenage version of your child.
Yeah.
To where, okay, maybe they would do something like that. So maybe I need to change the way that I'm coming at them.
Mm-hmm.
Because with that, before 10 years old, you are like teaching them a lot of different things when it comes to just everything in life. Once they become that preteen and teenager years, you're more so like honing their skills.
Yeah, you're teaching them the foundation at that age. What's acceptable, what's not. Like, just for the baseline of life. Like, it's
Yeah.
like a foundational time.
Yeah, and it's like if you don't catch it at the right time, then they can change from the influence of everything else that's going on around them. But then you're confused about like why are they like this? And it's like, well, you didn't catch it in time.
Mm-hmm.
And it did you not catch it in time because you wasn't willing to change? Not as in just changing for your kids, but changing for yourself. Have you did anything to like improve yourself, your well-being to get out of the mindset of the stuff of just continuously giving your kids every single thing that they want? Because you got to change that. When they're little like that, yeah, you can give them every single thing they want, but once they get to a certain age, you got to change that ASAP because now you got a gimme kid. You don't want a kid that you don't want no nympho kid out here that think that everything's supposed to come to them. You're supposed to change and grow with them to where now you're making them earn the things that they want.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not changing in the way that you're supposed to change, you're still stuck in the mindset of, well, when I was a child, I wanted this, I wanted that, I wanted the house party, so I'm gonna make sure my kid have a house party. I want my parents to be my friend, so I want to be my kid's friend. If
Mm-hmm.
you're not changing and you're not changing out that mindset, you're kind of sort of screwing everything up at this moment.
And that's what I'm saying. That's parenting through childhood trauma.
Yeah.
And a lot of people tend to do that. A lot of people tend to base parenting off of what they can provide for their kids without understanding that kids can't be bought. Their kids, they need things that are not physical.
Yeah.
And they need to be able, you are responsible for teaching them how to navigate the world and be able to survive on their own with or without you. Because again, none of us know when it's our time to go. And just because you got kids don't make you exempt. Just the reality of it. So if you are raising your kids through childhood trauma, you are a child raising a child, and you're no better than the pregnant teenager, like, because that's technically how you're navigating parenting. And then you're missing, because what's going to end up happening is, well, I didn't like chores, so I'm not going to get them chores too soon. And I didn't like responsibility, so I'm going to put off giving them responsibility. And then I didn't like this, so I'm not going to do this. But I did like this. I didn't like a bedtime, so I'm going to let them stay up all night. Like, we're taking different parts of our childhood that we did or didn't like and parenting through that trauma, and we're making our kids. And then by the time they turn 16, we're trying to figure out why you lack responsibility, why you lack accountability, why can't you be responsible, why you're not listening to authority, why can't you like get anything done, why do you have this entitled attitude. Like, well, it's because you missed the milestones when we were, it's milestones that you have to hit in parenting at specific ages. And it is nothing wrong with teaching your kids responsibility at an early age. That's like saying, when our kids, like, once they get old enough to walk, I start making them clean up after they sit. It's like, hey, come put that back. Because that's already starting to instill in you, once you make a mess, clean it up. So that's a little bit of responsibility for that age that's appropriate. Now, when they start getting a little bit older, 6, 7, okay, now we're going to clean our room. We're going to make our bed. We're going to pick the stuff up off the floor, because that's age appropriate. They can do that. Then as they get older, you might say, okay, so now what we're going to do is
change a
start.
tire. Oh.
Really? It
that
should,
thing go
depending on
change
what
at all.
age.
Like,
What age? If you're 15, 16, yeah, it's time to teach you that. Like, it's because then you're going to expect them to be able to do something that you never taught. And you're going to expect them to just grasp. That's not how that works. You have to teach them. And like, people are like, well, I don't trust them to do that, or I don't want them to do that. I don't think they're ready for that, because then I have to. So you're just going to put it off. And then by the time you're going to really, really want them to be doing this, you're going to be upset that they don't know how to do it, when you put off teaching them and starting to gear them. Because kids is like a gear up. It's like the old dial up back in the day. You got to turn it on, wait a couple, about 30, 40, like you got to wait some time, get it to boot up for it to start running properly. Same thing, Santana is 11. It's time for you to learn how to wash dishes. Like, are you going to do it perfectly? Probably not. Am I have to watch you while you're washing them? Yeah. Am I have to go back and make sure that everything is clean? Yes. But I'm teaching you now, so by the time you hit 14, I'm not going to have to do that. You can start teaching your brother now. Like, come in here and dry these dishes off. Like, now y'all can tag team that, and I know that you're going to be able to do it properly because you've had years of experience in doing it and learning without the pressure of, you need to wash my dishes right this, like,
yeah.
It takes time. So you have to start doing it way in advance. You can't get them to do it 1, 2 times and think it's just going to be perfect. You have to get them in the habit. Sometimes it's just building the habit for like, hey, every weekend, this is your job. Now it's perfecting the thing and making sure it's done correctly.
Yeah, so you can take a chore off of my hands.
Because who gonna do that when they get older? They're gonna be the kids coming to your house with their clothes. Ooh, I'm not washing your clothes for you. Like, come on now, this is ridiculous. But that's what it's gonna create, because you never taught them that independence of learning how to do things on their own. So that's why I'm like, parenting through trauma can be devastating to your child's development, because that's just dangerous. That's a dangerous game to play. We all had stuff in our childhood we wish could have been better, or we wish we got, or we wish our parents understood. but you cannot take that into your parenting of your children, because your children aren't you, and they living in a whole different time. The stuff we cared about them kids does not care about it.
Mm-mm.
So you have to figure out what is it that your kids care about, what is it that they need, and sometimes they don't know what they need. You as a parent has to just really watch and figure it out and be able to just pivot with them through those stages. And some of those stages are frustrating because it does make you also have to do inner work. Are you communicating the way you think you're communicating?
And speaking on, are you communicating the way that you think that you are communicating? Because I feel like that a bunch of people in our generation have bad communication skills. So if you feel like you're a person that have bad communication skills, have you decided to change the way that you communicate so you can be able to properly get the stuff done the way that you need to be done?
That's the problem. Most people don't think they're bad at communicating.
Yeah.
That's the bad part.
Yeah.
Most people think it's everybody else, and it's like, no, it's you. And I think we all could be better communicators, right? I think communication is
something that you develop over time. The
yeah, it's
older and
something
older
you're
you get, the better
always,
your communication skills will get.
yeah.
But in order for you to seek the life that everybody want is that having a spouse. I don't care what nobody say. It's not nobody out here that's out here like you not dead ass serious talking about nah, I don't need no man, I don't want no man. No, you want a spouse. It's just at this moment you know that you're not ready for a spouse. That goes for man and woman.
Mm-hmm.
They know that they're not ready for a spouse, but instead of them holding accountability of saying that they're not ready for no spouse, they're just gonna say that I don't need this. No, you want it. You just not ready for it. There's other stuff that you need to work on. So are you changing to work on these things so you can get that spouse? Because you don't want to be in your 50s, in your 40s, and you ain't got what you seek for. Because that's how you get like adult crash outs out here. It's true.
I mean, yeah, no, that is true. That is true. I agree with that. I think that with that, that is like it's avoidance. Mm-hmm. It's avoiding the thing that you don't want to work for. So you tell yourself you don't want, right? And so it's like, oh, I don't want no husband. I don't need no husband. Yeah, because you probably are not somebody who is worthy of being with somebody for a long term. There's 9 times out of 10 something wrong with you to where you feel like you are not deserving, or you know deep down that you're not capable of giving somebody that. It's one of the two. Now, with most people admit it, probably not.
No, because it's accountability.
Yeah, it's accountability, but if you weren't taught that, then how do you figure out how to develop that to hold your own self accountable? Because people just be like, oh, well, it's just life dealt me a bad hand. Did it? Or did you just not continue to see the bad things happening to you and find a pattern in that? And somewhere in that pattern, it was you. Mm-hmm. Like, and whatever it is, whether it's with your kids, so I keep telling people, like, you can do as much for your kids as you want. It don't mean, no, somewhere down the line, you messed up. If your life is steady
in turmoil,
then somewhere you're the common denominator. So if you never look at yourself, and like when stuff is happening to me, the first thing I do is look at myself, like whether it's with my kids, whether it's with business, whether it's personal, I always look at myself first before. I rarely blame outside things for whatever's going on with me, unless it's like really like, no, this is really what's happening. But even in that, I'm always like, but this is what I could be doing better, right? And I practice that mentality because it's easy to blame other people and things and entities versus taking a good look at yourself and saying, I could be doing this better. And really, because that's the first part of living intentionally. I think people don't understand how hard it is to be intentional about the things that you do and how you move and how you raise your kids, and not just going through the ebbs and flows of life. Because the ebbs and flows of life are easy to get caught up in. Most of the time, you don't even realize you're in it until you out of it. Yeah. Right? Like, I didn't realize how easy life was when I was working, had my kids in school, like just going through that ebb and flow, how easy it was until now we're entrepreneurs, and I'm like, it causes you to be more intentional and like giving up my career for like to be at home and doing all the decisions I've had to make to be intentional, being the mother, being the wife, being like doing the things, make you be like, dang, I didn't even realize in those times how unintentional you can, it's easy to start living
Yeah.
because you're getting paid every 2 weeks or every week. Your kids, everybody, somebody's always setting a schedule for you. Or somebody's always telling you what you're going to do. And even when you get the free time, you don't really have free time because you have friends, family, concerts. You have everything else
Then you
going
still
on.
gotta catch up on the stuff that you gotta do when you in
Yeah,
your free time that you can't do during the week.
yeah. So it's easy to get into a ebbs
A
and flows to where
cycle.
you don't realize that you're not living intention. Like you look up, and that's how you find the people crashing out because you look up and your life is nowhere near what you thought it would be. And sometimes you delay things that are already going to happen. You delay the inevitable. So instead of you quitting your career at 30 and starting over to go pursue whatever you're called to really do, you don't do it till you're 50. Now you crashing out because at 50, your life don't look absolutely nothing like what you wanted to look like, but it don't look like that because you delayed a change that was supposed to happen 20 years back.
Yeah, because that's when I decided to make my change in them 30s, the beginning 30s. I feel
Yeah,
like COVID pushed it, maybe. It helped it, it steered it
yeah,
because of how everything was going. So it was like, I mean, at any time at this point, you could be put on the bench and not receiving a paycheck. So why would I sit there and let somebody dictate how my money gonna flow when I can actually just try to chase my dream and put ourselves in a situation to where we don't have to worry about someone turning off our money. We can find different revenues and different ways of making money.
mm-hmm.
Now, in the process of making that change, was it hard? Goddamn Skippy, it was hard. Like, but I think that's the part of change that people don't like.
Yeah,
It's the hard part. Are you willing to go through the hard part, through the hard season, through your famine season, in order for you to get to the glory days?
yeah,
Because when everything is going smooth and dandy, it's easy to just sit there and stay up in that. But it's like to build real character is when you got to go through the ups and downs of everything. You got to your marriage on the line, like your life on the line, your paycheck on the line, like everything
everything
is
on
on
the
the line.
line.
And it's like, did you build your character enough to be able to bounce back?
Yeah,
Because I think a lot of people get stuck at that situation. A lot of people haven't built themselves up to be able to bounce back.
yeah.
So that's why
Just to
they will
bounce
stay
back. Yeah,
comfortable
yeah,
because they're scared of the bounce
yeah,
back because the bounce back is hard because you don't know when it's going to happen, if
yeah.
it's going to
If it's
happen.
gonna happen, yeah.
That be the thing too. So it's like, are you really willing to gamble on yourself?
Mm-hmm.
That's even when it comes to changing. Like, you know that you've been drinking all the time. Are you going to stop drinking? Are you going to like the person that you are when you stop drinking?
I think that's what I think. Because again, I think change. I don't. Here's the thing. I don't think anybody willingly changes. Right. I could be wrong. That's a question y'all can answer. Do you think people willingly change in life, like just willingly, like they want to do it and they just do it willingly? Or I don't think people willingly change because I think everybody has to hit a wall.
Yeah.
It's not until you hit that wall is when you be like, dang, I gotta change. And everybody has a different point of hitting the ball. Some of us just need to tap it. Like me, I'm a tap, baby. I tap that wall. I'm like, hold up, wait a minute. Other people got to run dead smack into it and almost knock themselves out and sit in the ER. They in ICU because you hit it too hard. And now you don't have, and some people will still not change. Some people it's forced. You don't have a choice. Life is going to make you do it, or you'll lose everything trying to avoid it.
Yeah, but I
Right?
feel like that's because you're choosing not to change.
Yeah,
I
you're
feel like
choosing
it's
not
levels
to.
to it.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be in a situation to where you know you need to change, and are you going to change? Now, if it's for the best, that's when it comes into where stuff start happening to where it's like it's going to force you to start changing. Excuse me. But then even if you still don't change in the process of all this stuff that's happening to you, now that's when you hit this brick wall and it's like you ain't got no choice but to change.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I don't think anybody willingly does it. Like, that's like the person who goes off to college and think they're gonna come back the same. You never go back to college and come back the same. This is not possible. But we never think that we gonna come out of college being different people, right? Something has to happen to catapult the change to why. Either you're tired of being broke, or you're tired of being sad, or you're tired of feeling like you're a child and you're grown up with kids, right? Or you're tired of people telling you what to do, or you're tired of going to work and you want to work, like you just want to find a way to make money to where you don't have to keep giving somebody your time.
You
Or
tired
you
of being a
just
Cowboys fan.
like even I'm not even wow. That's
Cause they don't
crazy.
want to change. It's not the '90s, bro. Like, like,
Wow.
relax. Like,
That came out. That's just unprovoked right there. Like,
we talking about change.
woo, child. But no, like you, everybody has to just hit it, right? Like something has to happen. And like I said, some people can be tapped, and like that's that moment where you're like, okay, you got to change. I'm tapping you on your shoulder, friend, telling, hey, change is here. Are you gonna take me willingly, or are we finna do this forcefully? What we finna do?
Mm-hmm.
Some people see change and be like, yep, nope, not gonna do it. Some of us be like, okay, I'm gonna go with the flow. Let's go ahead and do this, right? Because you have to weigh who you're gonna be and who you are, right? And sometimes when you're in the midst of change, because it requires so much consciousness.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can be in the middle of the change and be like, I remember the girl who used to drink all the time. I remember the party version of who I used to be. I remember the nonchalant, non-caring. Like you remember old parts of who you used to be that you didn't see nothing wrong with that. You were fine living your life like that until you start to see how it's affecting in other ways, or how it could potentially affect in other ways, right? Which cause you to change. But that
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean that you don't sometimes miss those older versions of you. That doesn't mean sometimes you don't question the change that you are now in or transitioning into. And that doesn't mean that you don't always fear the person that you are going to become. And sometimes that will scare people enough to make them be stuck.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, everybody just does not change. Some people avoid it their entire life, and things continue to happen to them. Will they have moments of comfort?
Yeah.
Absolutely. We
Everybody
all
get
have
their
moments of
moment to
comfort.
shine for a little bit.
But there just is always something internally in them that are not at peace. I don't even want to say happy. They're just never at a peaceful state, right? Internally. I'm not talking about financially. I'm not talking about what you have, like monetarily or physically. Like I'm saying like internal peace. Like I'm content with life right now where it is, even though everything in my life is not perfect. But most of us, well, most people will not do that because it is scary going through that tunnel. Like change is like a tunnel. You see it, you don't know what's in it. You don't know how long it run. Like you don't know when you gonna get out and see the other side of the light. Like you like how long left we got in this tunnel, and you don't know who you're gonna be when you come out of that. You don't know if you're gonna have food in this tunnel. You don't know if you're gonna have uh things to help you survive in this tunnel. You don't know if you're gonna have protection. You don't know. So that's gonna cause internally things to change in you. So by the time you get to the end of that tunnel, you don't really know who that person gonna be.
Yeah.
And that is scary within itself because now you have to learn how to love a new version of yourself. And people don't talk about that. People don't talk about learning to love the new version of you, and being able to appreciate the old version of you, because you still needed that person to get where you need to be. It's learning the lessons that you needed to learn throughout all of your life to get to who you're now supposed to become. But that is not an easy process. And I
No,
think
it's not.
people never talk about the fear of becoming. We all talk about becoming, but we never talk about the fear of actually doing it. Like when you hit moments and you're like, I'm really doing it, like that's scary. And like, who is this gonna make me become? Who is this gonna make me be? We all talk about, I get money, I become famous, I do this, I do that. What am I gonna be? Who am I gonna be? You're never gonna be the same. I'm gonna be the same. You're never gonna be the same. And if you are the same, that's because you avoided change. And either you're gonna be unalive avoiding change, and you're gonna probably go unhappy spiritually, or you're gonna be the person in 20, 30 years that is having a mental breakdown because something has forced you to. It's too late.
Yeah.
Like people always say it's never too late. No, sometimes it is, because now you have 20, 30 years of stuff to catch up on. Who want to do that? I
Yeah.
might as well just stay who I am, because how are you going to catch up?
No, that's true. Because I feel like if I didn't make the big change and it was more so like shedding the what I thought made me me, and that's with like having hoes and all the extra shit that comes with it. I feel like if I didn't make that change, then I would have lost every single thing. Losing
Mm-hmm.
my family, Nisha, amen. But like, yeah, but in general, losing my family, losing business opportunities, all these different things. So it's like if I didn't make that big change, I don't know where I would be at this moment.
Yeah.
Now, that's not saying that I'm not happy about my change. I'm actually happy about my change, and I'm actually grateful that I was able to see that that was a problem, and also realizing that that was a burden on everyone, not just because I was comfortable with it, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't a burden on your shoulders or even a burden upon my kids' shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
So, like on the outside
Yeah.
looking in now, as I'm getting older, it's the understanding part that, like, yeah, well, the change was for the best because
Mm-hmm.
I'm more level headed. I'm more able to be connected with my family in the way that I'm supposed to be, the leader that I'm supposed to be, and actually setting the example that I'm supposed to be setting for my kids.
Yeah. And that's the part.
And also being able to trust my wife the way that I need to trust her so she can be able to help me and guide me through the changes that I do go through, or also just help and guide me through like everything, life, family, business. So it's like if I didn't make them changes, then it's like we don't know where we would be at.
Yeah.
And I think that was more so the scary part about it, because it was like in that time, in that season, it was like you can continue to do this even though that you're having fun and there's nothing wrong with it. You can continue to do this, or you can change, and it might get much better than what it was when you was doing this. So it's like, which one you gonna pick?
Mm-hmm.
And it's also a choice, because that's the
Change
thing
is a
about
choice.
change. Choice is a choice. Is you could choose to go through this. You could choose. Make Morpheus said it the best. You can pick the red pill or the blue pill. Which one you
Yeah.
want?
That is true. So I get the why I understand that movie, baby. They had a point. They had a point, because you do have to choose. No, because sometimes, like I said, sometimes you don't see what, you don't have a problem with who you may be in this season. But that doesn't mean that things aren't affecting other things in your life. And also you're being intentional in showing up as the person you need to show up as for your kids, because they are watching. So if you have certain characteristics about yourself that you don't necessarily want them to have, but you're doing the things, and guess what, they're going to pick it up. They're definitely going to pick that up. So it's being intentional in really choosing who you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can continue to do all the things. I could like, and it might be fun for now, but you don't know how fun that's gonna be in 10 years when you sitting by yourself. Like, or you constantly going through a rotation of people because you can't, because this is what you chose. So now is it still fun? That's the thing about change. If you don't know how everything gets tiring at a certain point. Everything get played out, everything get old, at least it should. You should get tired of the hustle and bustle of what things have always been. If not,
You the problem.
you being real toxic.
Like, yeah, like you're not tired of the cowboy shit. Like,
Like, really, I can't stand you. I can't stand
like,
you.
dang.
That's childish. But you just think you're gonna have to go pray about it. Like, so, like, and that's the thing. Which you just got to pray it through.
Mm-hmm.
Like, changing will definitely bring you more spiritually aware because you have to also lean on something other than yourself and your own mental and the world, because the world will have you out here confused. And do not confuse religion with being with spirituality and having an actual connection and relationship with God. You have to be able to understand that your life has a plan. Now, if you want to go so far as to run from that plan, that is your business. But when you start being depressed enough, when you get tired of jumping from job to job, female to female, man to man, house to house, having 50, 11 kids and baby daddies,
Not making the
you,
playoffs.
you, you are going to either be bitter.
And they are like,
or you are going to accept your fate, but do not like the whole it's never too late to change. I mean, it's not too late to start, but please realize it was something you're supposed to, because that's real. I don't think people downplay how long. It's men right now who still are their 16-year-old and they still think they in their prime and they 38.
the boy
You
receding
about to hit.
hairline.
Listen, you finna hit for it and you still sitting here thinking you out here in these streets like you 16. If you don't grow up, like, really, you about to need you need health care at this point. Okay, you finna need somebody to nurse you. You better figure it out. Like, females, this whole I'm always at my prime, you're not. Baby rearing, they don't let these celebrities get y'all confused with thinking you can just have a baby whenever you want, you get married when you want, life plan when you want. And then some people like, well, God want me to have you here to send it. No, he will not. He's not gonna send you the job. He's not gonna send you the man. Some of y'all, he have sent the man and you done sent them back. You done returned it to sender because you talking about you need signs and you need him to do this, you need him to do that. But what are you gonna do? Like, you got a plan for everything and everybody else, but you ain't got you not even listening. You choosing God, but you ain't even chose the path God forgot for you. So are you really choosing him? Like, you choosing him under your conditions. Oh, I married you. Like, you can't do that. You have to find your path, be intentional about it in every way, shape, or form of your life. You can't say I want kids at this time once you checked all the boxes for yourself.
Yeah.
You can't say you want marriage once you check the boxes. You can't say I gotta have this particular career, but I'm choosing God. You can't say I'm choosing change under these circumstances. I'll do this under these circumstances. You sometimes you're just not ready. Like, you got to get married without the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Like, some of y'all want to get married right now, and because you can't afford the wedding, you won't do it. Get married. You don't need the wedding. You trust me. We came out of $9, almost $10,000 for you do not need the wedding. Okay, like you just don't. Y'all are we stunting you. Some of us stunt our own growth.
Yeah.
And I think that's the saddest part because some people don't realize they're stunting their growth. Some people are in denial about stunting their growth. And some people are just stuck and they're holding on to an old version of them that because it was the funnest time in their life or it made them feel more confident or whatever the reason, they don't let go.
They peaked.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you don't let it go. And it's like, you got to. Please let it go. It's a memory for a reason. Let it go. So
I hope this episode helps some people. Just think about it.
Something to ponder on.
Yeah.
But just, are you? Answer these questions for you. Be honest now. Don't be out here. Don't just be nodding along being like, Just answer the question now. Just answer it for yourself. You ain't got to tell me, but just answer it for yourself. But if you liked it, please subscribe. And maybe, drop a fire emoji or something. But like, y'all was telling the truth. Like, something. Answer my question, baby. Do you think? Go back and get the question.
Oh, I remember. Do you think?
For real?
No.
More.
I'm about to say shit. You can't think if you're a Cowboys fan. Like, y'all out here with this Dak Prescott, like he finna do something. He's finished. Relax. Relax.
Want your rant to be more
about the Cowboys? Hell nah. Like shit.
I can't.
I don't have a rant yet. Season ain't started all the way yet, so I hope it don't be a rant filled weekly season. Like
me and you both.
Oh yeah, because if it is, I will be. All right.
No, I don't think I have. I don't got no rant, but I have a statement. All you people who was out here, and I could have said this a couple episodes ago, but y'all people who was out here on that Lil Wayne album, y'all are just wilding. Because that album was the best album of this year. Y'all go get your life on that.
Of this year?
Yep. This year. Name somebody better.
Tyler the Creator kind of sort of dropped a better album. Like,
I'm not even gonna do that. Not even.
You said name something that was better.
That's a personal preference.
But you asked me a question.
Ain't nobody listening to him like that.
I don't know why. Y'all sleep.
Anyway, you didn't think Wayne had a good album.
Nah, Wayne album was pretty good.
Fire. Like y'all just I don't understand.
It was number one, and then number two would have been what's that? Some Sexy.
Oh, Drake.
Yeah,
that was good too. Cause baby, y'all just listen. All we waiting on is Nicki Nicks. Cause Young Money, Cash Money been doing it. All right, listen. YCMB, baby. That is what it is. That's really all I got to say. And with that, child, I think that's it.
Till next time, her life.
Live dreams. Bye, y'all.
What's good, people? Before y'all leave, don't forget to like, share, and comment. Oh, and follow us at
Hunt Life the Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and here on YouTube. Please hit the subscribe button. You can also find me at I'm the Key on Instagram, and you can follow us on Hunt Life Code on Instagram and TikTok.
And you can find me on Mr. Hunt Bubbles on everywhere. Mr. Hunt Bubbles on everything, and also Hunt Files. And don't forget, if you got any comments or any statements or anything that you want to leave us, you can always find us up on Instagram and Hunt Life the Podcast. Have a great day, y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Hunt Life, live dreams.